happy Friday. Hopefully you had a great trading week. I'm just going to do a video lesson for the week ahead, and this doesn't count as a Sunday scan as well. I'm kind of busy for the weekend for Mother's Day. Hopefully y'all had a great trading week. Just going to go over some particular plays. It's pretty much the same exact stuff I've been talking about, okay? First and foremost, again, all these are really for educational purpose only. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm a millionaire trader. I'm not. I'm just getting started, and this YouTube channel is keeping catalog of my trading process in order to reach a state of consistency, okay? But pony. 5-star setup galore. This is pretty much the exact same setup that you're going to be seeing from me on this channel over and over again. I mentioned this on my last video scan. This is what you want to look for, stocks that really make a big move and consolidate, and understand that it's not exact science, okay? I get a lot of comments on some particular stocks that I mentioned that I'm looking for, and they go the other way. And I want to say to anyone out there, just because I mention a stock, it doesn't mean it's going to do exactly what I say it's going to do. It's just about playing the odds. The more and more you see these setups, you have to take them depending on what your methodology is. And this is pretty much my bread and butter right here. A stock that makes a big move and comes back in orderly fashion and surfs the moving averages, as I always say, and create tightness really on the hourly channel. You want to turn out the noise, okay? If you're a day trader, yeah, 5 minute, 10 minute, all that intraday cool, but like, you have to understand that the big money is made in swing trading or position trading, to say. I'm not saying you can't day trade. I traded the stock today. I'll go over in a minute. They move very differently. And again, as I was always mentioned, always know your why in your trading methodology. Why are you doing what you're doing? And you want a stock that has a reason to go up, that has buying institutions and mostly momentum, okay? And again, this is pretty much what you want to see. Look how orderly this looks. Look how orderly it looks. It's surfing the moving averages. It's not random. It's not all over the place, okay? Like something like this, I have conviction holding long term. I got long, I mentioned at like $11-ish. And right here I got long, and right there. And rather than holding something like a penny stock like today, which I got long this one right here, I'll go over. It's just, do you have conviction? There's a big difference in this small cap runner, micro runner, than something like Pony, or something like AEVA, 5-star setup, or something like Curiosity Streams, another 5-star setup, or something like MBST that's setting up really well, or something like Roots, for instance, or something like Hims that's been running lately, okay? There is a big difference. Or for instance, like Lyft today, 5-star earnings EP. I'm not sure, the revenue is probably increased. Let me think, look at this, positive revenue. But do you understand the difference? There's a reason for this to go up. There's buying pressure. There's institutions buying this compared to something like the micro runner that showed you. And again, always pay attention to volume. Volume tells the sign. Don't focus on all the indicators. Tune out all the noise. Again, you don't have to do everything at once, okay? Like today was a very busy day in the markets. It's earnings season. Everything's moving, and my job is to help you limit the noise, to turn the noise down. That is my job. And mostly my job is to help you not lose money. And the first way to do that is finding who you are as a trader. What is your why? I trade episodic pivots, opening range highs, mainly flag breakouts, and for instance, like the one you see right here. And shorting, I'm not going to go over shorting, but it's like an overextended gap down play, okay? But like for instance, the one chart right in front of you is pretty much the bread and butter of what I trade. You wait for stocks that make a sideways and have that range break. Sideways, range break. Even today was a 5-star setup, or yesterday, out of the 5-star, but I didn't get long because I was long from previous day here. And this is just what you do. This is an opening range high play, okay? Low of days always stop. Don't integrate in the average true range. Wait for a dip, and you trail 10-day, okay? This is my setup. I pretty much nailed this. I called it on my last video lesson. I see this going to $19. Again, it's not luck. I don't want to tell you that I got lucky. No, it's just I've seen the same shit happen over and over again throughout my trading career, and I want to tell you that this stuff's not random, okay? I always I always go over this every day or every lesson. Keep a database of stocks, okay? Whatever your pattern is, whatever your why is, keep a database, okay? I promise you, keep a database. You'll see the exact same stuff happening over and over again, okay? It's not random like AOI. This is a 5-star setup. Big move, basing, range break, okay? It's the exact same type of shit over and over again, okay? And with this one, I pretty much sold most of my shares today because it's really getting overextended in my opinion. I'm not saying it can't go higher. I'm going to watch it for down the week, and the short interest is extremely high. As I mentioned, always pay attention to volume. The volume's still there, so ideally I would like this to pull back, come down to 17-ish, and just make a couple of days sideways. Who knows? Who says it can't test this high day level? You know, the market winner and everything seems to be running. And again, as I always mention, remember that 3 out of 4 stocks follow the overall market, and here we are right now. Let's just take a look. Again, don't try to predict where we're going to go. Just be reactive. Everyone's saying no. First rule: no one knows nothing. Okay, get off social media. Limit the noise. Focus on you. Focus on your setups. Who knows what we're going to do? It doesn't matter. The market's still going to be there. The setups are still going to be there. The question is, are you going to be there? Okay, focus on setups. I would love us to go higher because that, you know, most of the big money is made whenever the surfing moving averages are surfing higher. That's good for momentum. But who knows? I'm just being reactive to say. But Pony, 5-star. I mean, take a screenshot. Okay, this is pretty much the exact same shit you'll see from me throughout the year. Okay, I keep saying that because this is a 5-star setup. You don't see this very often. It's so fluid. Okay, just like how I mentioned on hymns. 5-star. Look how orderly it is. Surfing the moving averages. Okay, same deal. Range break. Okay, range break. But other than that, the big difference. Okay, for instance, in BVE, micro runner, long-term chart always look left. This does not have a. Okay, the chart tells the play. Look at the previous spikes it had. Volume. This does not have a great history of holding its gains, therefore, you know, past performance, they say, is not indicative of future returns. Well, past performance is all we have. And I got along really well. Like, for instance, for these stocks, I have to be watching them constantly. I'm not saying you can't make money, it's just I mostly manage my positions from work on my phone. And it's just like something like, like I mentioned, something like Pony. I have a mental stop loss in, so I know it's not that volatile. They could raise money, for instance. You don't know what can happen, but it's not that volatile compared to NVE where this stock is. Therefore, you have to be kind of monitoring these small cap runners. If you're a scalper or whatever, I'm not saying you can't make money, you can. I got long really well at 210, and I sold really well at 320, and I try to get long again out of this $3 break for the potential high day short squeeze, and it was a triple top, and of course, when I saw that triple top, I didn't know, but the odds said, based off the chart from the past, that this was going to fade. And I think they raised money. I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked, but the reason it collapsed, they raised money? I don't know. Who knows? They probably have a dilution in share. But it's just like, yeah, I mean, others, like, for instance, other ones like SYTA, again, these are like small cap land, long-term chart is shit, okay? And as again, I'm not saying you can't trade these. Yes, you can. This was a Bitcoin one today. This is likely going to gap up. This has a great history of gapping up. This has a great history of gapping up, but that's that one, for instance. But I'm not saying that you can't trade these. Yes, you can. It's just it's again, it all goes back to the why. It all goes back to who you are as a trader. Okay. I'm just going over some scans. This is the big percent gainer list here. Okay, this is everyday small cap land here. I don't look to trade these. I just look at them intraday. You can make money trading these. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not gonna sit and tell you day trading is not worth it. You can make money. Yes, you can. It's just like, for me, I realized that it's just so much easier to swing trade or persistent trade because the big money is in long-term growth, in getting the big moves, for instance. You know, like, I'm trying to think of a stock. Like for instance, like RGC, everyone's talking about RGC. Now, I would have never held this, but this is my exact type of pattern. I don't know how this went off my radar, okay? But look at this shit. Remember I was talking about this on my video YouTube channel here. Same deal. Big move, sideways, range break. I got long. Again, I didn't hail the entire way, okay? But for the liquidity is so thin that first off, I would have never got this. Maybe I did, small size. But the liquidity is so thin that I missed this initial breakout. And look where it went today. 380? You know, just madness. But this is a short squeeze, okay? The point being is just like, you want the reason for something to go up. And I realize for doing this for 7 years that you could make more money in swing trading with stocks that have a reason to go up, as in earnings, or really, you want a catalyst, you want a story, you want fuel, you want something like Lyft, you want institutions buying it, because remember, you and I are probably the dumbest people in this game. You have more advanced people facing against you with more money, with more data than you know, so you know really nothing in the end. And it's just, a lot of these micro runners are random, you know, compared to like the stocks I have on my watch list. Lyft, EP, you know, VVPR is breaking out in ranges, and Curiosity Streams, earnings, ABA, I talked about last video lesson, 5-star setup, earnings, big move, orderly fashion, couple days. The longer this goes sideways, the better. And when you have a breakout, that's fuel. Look at the volume. Okay, I missed this. My fault. Excuse me. I missed this because I was heavily long on Pony. I didn't have the buying power. But this setup is the exact same setup I'm trying to teach you. Again, I didn't come up with this setup. It's just a setup I've learned throughout the years. And again, look, the long-term chart isn't ideal. They had a reverse split. But look, volume. The volume is there. It's showing what? Showing there is buying pressure. Okay? Therefore, it has a reason to go up. Earnings, okay? Institutions, okay? Retail, all that, etc. plays into play. I should be long this, but I missed it. But I'm not worried, okay? Because whenever you miss a play, understand that there's going to be the exact same plays happening over and over again because the market's completely moving. It's completely fluid. It's the same shit over and over again, just different companies and different tickers and different traders, okay? It's the same stuff. Trail 10 day on that one. This one as well, same type of deal, setting up. This is what you want to see, okay? This is it. Again, these are the stocks on my radar. I'm not saying I'm going to trade them. It's just something I'm trying to show you what I do daily. Okay, big move sideways over 260. That's the plan. And again, I mentioned go back to before. Everyone always says it never happened. That stock that you said was going to do this X Y never happened. Cool. I don't care, okay? I don't try to be right every day. That's the wrong mindset. You want to go with the market prepared, okay? That's your plan. QBTS is one I am long over the weekend. Again, 5-star setup, earnings, EP, look left. Again, earnings, look left. Earnings, gap up. Now we're really near that level of $12. And again, always pay attention to one thing, volume. So the long-term charts better. Hourly is always what I look intraday. Again, recent runner, okay? This has ran before. 5-star setup right there. You should already see it. And right there. And consolidation, earnings, and today I got long. I missed yesterday's initial buy. Yesterday should have been an EP, opening range high, low day stop, initial buy. But I missed it. But I got long today. And ideally, I'm aiming for the gap over the high day here. We'll see what happens. It's a swing trade. I have a good average. I have a good stop in mind. So, again, look at the volume. The volume is there. So, this one I'm excited for. I'm excited for this one to see how this one plays out. Who knows? If this breaks over $12, this can go to who knows how high. And always remember the quantum sector. The quantum sector, you always want to have different types of backlists. So I'm watching the quantum sector as well. Again, as you develop as a trader, you're going to see a lot of sector runs, okay? And the quantum was the last one to go. So if QBTS ends up going, then these can potentially go as well. QTM, can go as well. But the more you watch this, like this video lesson, I just want you to understand that it's a process. Most of the work should be done after market or before market hours. Whenever you're in trading, whenever the market opens, it's just all about execution. That's really what it comes down to. And if you're like a retail trader, day trader, then otherwise, and I can see how you trade intraday those stocks, but it gives me headaches. Like it's just swing trading and position trading is much more, well, swing trading really, in my opinion, that's what I do, is just a lot less confusion, because I look at charts at night every day. Like for instance, QUBT is setting up very nicely. Look how it's surfing the ranges. Look how it's surfing the ranges. How do I get my freaking pen here? Hold up. It's surfing the ranges so well. Look at this. This is going to be on my backlist. You add it to list. See, every night, this is just one piece of the pie I do. I look at stocks and you add them to a list, and it gets you familiar with them. Not that one. Jesus Christ. But as I was saying, most of the work is done 5-star setup, ideally over $10 or over $9. It depends how the quantum sector goes. But most of the work is done QSG. I had this one on my list as well. Did I have that QBT? I had that one. Yes, QSG. Same deal, quantum. I missed this one. I had it on radar. The ideally buy signal was when it broke out of the range right there. But it's still setting up nicely. Sorry for getting on topic. But the question is, but I was saying most of the work should be done post-market. Okay, put in the work, whoever you are. Okay, whether you're a day trader, okay, that's cool. I day trade stocks as well. It really gives me headaches. Okay, I'm not saying you can't do it. I do it sometimes. I mainly focus on the penny stocks, like into midday. After, like when I look at midday scans, I see them then. But it's just so hard to predict out of the open. I have to let the play develop. Have to see the whole chart. And with swing trading, the charts come to you. You know, like every night I scan stocks, I scan my scans, and it's just really up to you. You know. I've come to the realization how most of the big money is in just waiting. It's really what it comes down to. Most of the big money comes down to waiting. All of us want action. Okay, I get it. You see the big percent gainer scans, you see all of it, and you want to be able to trade. I get it. Believe me, I get it. But sometimes you just have to understand that sometimes the best thing to do is nothing. You know, that's the best thing to do. Let's go over some other stocks real quick. Like Root, for instance. OKL is one setting up as well. Like how it's basing on that. EOS was another earnings EP. Well, I want to keep this one short here, okay? TMC is one as well that kind of didn't work as planned. HIMS, for instance. Everyone's been talking about HIMS. 5-star setup. I can easily see this going 55 plus for sure. Just let it base, let it do its thing. Okay, let it go more sideways, then have a range break. Okay, let the moving averages catch up. Okay, because once it gets too extended, you don't want to buy it then. You want to buy it when it's surfing, and you want it to catch up. So I can easily see this come down some, but the hourly is really well. It's creating a nice flag pattern. But over 55 for sure, I can see. SLNO, other than that, Oscar is one setting up as well. Same type of deal, you know, earnings, sideways action, over 1750. It's so, the volume is there. Other than that, I'm going really fast here. OST was a nice one, out of that pivot point. PSTL was one I talked about, I think, on my last scan. Was that the one I was over? POTR's retail favorite, just so choppy. But I'm gonna end this here because the longer this are, the less it goes. But the main point of this video lesson is just to know your why, and I keep going over that as I go over stocks here. It's just you should see the same type of variation of setup over and over again. Like for instance, EVGO. This one failed. This one didn't work out. The big picture, I expected this to break out of that range. You know, you have a big move, sideways, red day, and I was expecting to have a nice range break, and we didn't get that. And sometimes that happens within markets. Okay, your trading system is not going to work all the time. It's not about being right. Okay, it's about having a positive expectancy, knowing you have the conviction to take the trade. Like for instance, GPUS. This is a 5-star setup. I would have taken this over and over again. I was long this stock out of the open. You should already know what I'm going to tell you right now. Opening range highs, recent runner, big move, red day. Really, yesterday was a buy signal. I missed it. I didn't get long. Even yesterday, really, 2 times it failed. 2 times it failed. The range break here should have let this go higher, but it failed. And that's why I watched it today. Let's go on the intraday scan here. It's better. Sometimes your setups are not going to work. That's perfectly fine. Okay, as I mentioned here, like big picture, if opening range highs here, this would have gone. Like in COVID market, this would have gone easily. And today we tried, and I got long at roughly before $9 I got long. And it didn't work out. That's what happens. We had this massive pullback, and I sold, and it happens. That's, again, the market does what the market wants to do. Don't try to predict, just be reactive. And oh well, shit happens. Okay, the point being is you get used to losing. Get used to getting stopped out. Okay, as a trader, whatever your trading methodology is, you're not going to be right 100% of the time. Stop trying to have a high win rate. Don't do that shit. Just focus on your setups and always know when to get out before you get in. Okay? I knew you always have to accept the odds that this stock can go the other way, if that makes any sense. And for this one, I would have taken this trade over and over again easily. But it happens. I'm not saying it's done. I can still watch it over $7. If it does base, have another leg higher for sure. PRCH is another one I'm watching for next week. 5-star earnings EP. As I mentioned, always look left to predict the right. This has gone before numerous times. I mean, look at even right here. That one. Go out here. Look at even right here. Galore. Earnings EP galore. And again, look. I always say, look how surfing the moving averages. Surfing. Okay. And again, you're saying you're just drawing lines. Yes, it's that fucking simple. Don't overcomplicate this shit. Okay. So ideally, again, big picture play here. Big picture. Range break, really let it do its thing, more sideways, and have a range break over $11 down the road. As long as it does base above 10, that'd be ideal. And the more sideways on the daily candle for that tightness, and another leg higher. Just like how I showed you earlier on AOI, you want something like this, sideways pattern, then a range break. That's really what I'm looking for on PRCH. Okay, but that's really all I wanted to talk about. PRS, kids, faded. Most of these micro runners, as I mentioned, they all do fade. Okay, it's just a question of when, and that's a problem lately. Everyone thinks on day one they're going to go down, and no, that doesn't happen. Because if you do short on day one of a move, then you're going to get blown out, like on a stock like CP. Okay, this does not go from the low of 1250 to the high of 60 because of freaking the stock. No, it was just a short trap. But other than that, hopefully I learned something from this. Okay, again, I'm not a master of the markets. I'm trying to help you learn something as I do these. And the main thing I want to help you find is who you are as a trader. And it takes time. It takes effort. Okay, I spend hours and hours and hours after market close on the weekends looking at charts. And that's what you have to do in life. And I do less and less now because I've gotten to the level where I can see a play before it happens. I'm not saying I'm a genius. It just, over time, you don't want this to become your identity, if that makes any sense. And I spent my early 20s becoming obsessed with this. And I guess it's a good thing. I don't know. It's a good skill to have. Once you learn this setup or whatever setup you're doing, you have a skill for life. So that's my goal, is to help you find that setup, find your why, okay? But a 5-star setup overall. Hopefully have a great Mother's Day weekend. I'm going to be kind of busy this next couple of weeks, so I'll be kind of going in and out lately. But again, always remember, before we trade, always know your thesis, always know your exit before you enter, okay? Other than that, if you have any questions, leave them below. But stay